We are now in section number 3, describe the capabilities of Microsoft Azure Security Solution. This section has 4 modules. Describe basic security capabilities in Azure, describe security management capabilities in Azure, describe the security capabilities of Microsoft Sentinel, and describe threat protection with Microsoft 365 Defender. Let's start with the first, describe basic security capabilities in Azure. And this module, we will talk Azure security capabilities for protecting your network, how Azure can protect your VMs, and how encryption on Azure can protect your data. Let's start. Denial of service, or popular DDoS, is an attack that has goal of preventing access to services or systems. If the attack originates from the one location, it's called DOS. If the attack originates from multiple network and systems, it's called distributed denial of service, or DDoS. So DDoS is a collection of attacks types. Those attacks use multiple internet-connected systems to launch many network requests against your DNS, web services, email, etc. DDoS generally involves many systems, sending traffic to targets as part of the botnet. In most cases, the owners of the system in botnet don't know that their devices are compromised and participate in attack. Botnets are becoming a bigger problem than before because of the increasing number of the connected devices. Azure DDoS protection used scale and elasticity on global network to bring DDoS mitigation capabilities and capacity to every Azure region. During DDoS attack, Azure can scale your computing needs to meet demand. DDoS protection manages cloud consumption to ensuring that your network load only reflect to your customer usage. Azure DDoS protection comes in 2 tiers. Default DDoS infrastructure protection, previously referred to as basic. Basic service tier is automatically enabled for every property on Azure at no extra cost. As part of the Azure platform, always on traffic monitoring and real-time mitigation of common network level attacks provide the same defenses that Microsoft Online Services use. Azure Global Network is used to distribute and mitigate traffic across the region. DDoS protection standard, the standard service tier provides extra mitigation capabilities that are tuned specifically to Microsoft Azure Virtual Network resources. DDoS protection standard is simple to enable and require no application changes. Protection policies are tuned to the dedicated traffic monitoring and machine learning algorithms. Policies are applied to the public IP addresses, which are associated with resources deployed in virtual network, such as Azure Load Balancer and Application Gateway. Azure Firewall. Azure Firewall is the managed cloud-based network security service that helps protect your Azure Virtual Network resources. It's a fully stateful firewall in a SaaS module that has built-in high availability and unrestricted cloud scalability. In the case you're wondering what's the stateful firewall, stateful firewall is a firewall that monitors full state of active network connection. This means that the stateful firewall are consistently analyzing the complete content of the traffic and data packages, seeking entry to a network rather than distinct traffic and data packages in an isolation. From other side, stateless firewalls are designed to protect a network based on the static informations such as source and destination. Whereas the stateful firewall filter package based on the full context of a given network connection, stateless firewalls filter package based on the individual packet themselves. You can centrally create, enforce, and log application and network connectivity policy across subscription and virtual networks. Azure Firewall use static public IP addresses for your virtual network resources, allowing the outside firewalls to identify traffic originating from your virtual network. The service is fully integrated with Azure Monitor for logging and analytics. Use the network and application level filtering So use IP address support and protocol to support full qualified domain name filtering for outbound HTTP, HTTPS traffic and network filtering controls. Also, outbound SNAT and inbound DNAT to communicate with internet resources, translate the public IP address to network resources to an Azure public IP address to identify and allow traffic originate from your virtual network to internet destination. Similarly, inbound internet traffic to the firewall public IP address is translated and filtered to the private IP address of resources on virtual network. It's important to mention that the Azure Firewall supports multiple public IP addresses. Those addresses can be associated with the Azure Firewall. Also, threat intelligence-based filtering can be enabled of your firewall to deny traffic for or not to malicious IP traffic or domains. Web Application Firewall. The Application Firewall provides centralized protection of your web application from common exploits and vulnerabilities. A centralized Application Firewall helps make security management much simpler. And the Web Application Firewall can be deployed with Azure Application Gateway, Azure Front-End Door, and Azure Content Delivery Network services. Web Application Firewall is an optional component that handles incoming requests before their reach to listener. Web Application Firewall checks each request for many common threats based on the Open Web Application Security project. Those includes SQL injection, cross-site scripting, common injection, HTTP request snuggling, HTTP request splitting, remote file enclosure, etc., etc. Network segmentation and Azure VNet. Segmentation is a module in which you take your network footprint to create software-defined perimeters using the tools available in Microsoft Azure. You then set the rules that govern the traffic from to those perimeters so that you can have different security posture for various parts of your network. When you place different applications or part of given applications into those perimeters, you can govern the communication between those identities. If a part of your application stack is compromised, you will be better enabled to contain the impact of the security breach and prevent it from laterally spreading throughout the rest of your network. This ability is a key principle associated with the Zero Trust module published by the Microsoft that aims to bring the world-class security thinking to your organizations. Azure Virtual Network VNet is a fundamental building block for your private network in Azure. VNet enable many types of Azure resources, such as Azure virtual machines, VM, to securely communicate with each other, with the internet, and on the on-premise network. VNet is similar to the traditional network that you operated in your own data center, but it brings with additional benefits of Azure infrastructure, such as scale, availability, and isolation. All resources in VNet can communicate outbound to the internet by default. You can communicate inbound to the resources by assigning the public IP address or public load balancer. You can also use a public IP address or public load balancer to manage your outbound connection. Azure VNet enables organizations to segment their network, and the organization can create multiple VNets per region, per subscription, and multiple smaller network subnets can be created within each VNet. VNet provide network-level containments of resources and no traffic allowed across VNet or inbound to the VNet by default. Communication needs to be explicitly provisioned. This enables more controls over how Azure resources in VNet communicate with other Azure resources or internet or on-premises networks. Azure Network Security Groups. VMs that you create via resource management deployment mode can have direct connectivity to internet by using the public IP address that is directly assigned to the VM. Only with a host firewall configuration inside VMs help protect those VMs from the internet. NSG help provide advanced security for your VMs. NSG controls inbound and outbound traffic passing through the network or subnets. NSG contains rules that specify whether traffic will be approved or denied. Each rule is based on the source IP addresses, source port, and destination IP addresses and destination port. Based on whether the traffic match this combination, the rule either allow or denied this traffic. Each rule consists of the sum of these properties. Name, this is unique identifier for the rule. Direction specifies whether the traffic is inbound or outbound. Priority, if multiple rules match the traffic rule with higher priority, apply. Action specifies whether the traffic is allowed or denied. Source IP addresses prefix identifies where the traffic originated from. It can be based on a single IP address, a range of IP addresses, or asterisk, which is a wildcard that match all possible IP addresses. Source port range specifies source port by using either a single port number from 1 to 65,535 or a range of the ports with asterisks to donate all possible ports. Destination IP address prefix identifies the traffic destination based on a single IP address or range of IP addresses in serial notation or the asterisk to match all possible IP addresses. Destination port range specifies destination ports by using either a single port number or multiple port range number or the asterisk to donate all possible ports. And the protocol specifies a protocol that matches the rule. It can be a UDP, TCP, or the asterisk, which means any protocol.
Now is demo time. In this demo, we will explore the function of Network Security Group in Azure and apply Network Security Group to virtual machine. We'll show you the process of managing the Network Security Group, show default inbound and outbound rules, create new RDP rules to allow connection to the virtual machine, and create outbound rule to deny internet traffic go out from a virtual machine. It's very important first to understand that Network Security Group has different scope. We will first assign Network Security Group directly to the virtual network interface of virtual machines and test them. After that, we will change the scope of Network Security Group and associate this Network Security Group on default subnet where is located this virtual machine and test again. But now let's start the lab. I'm on my portal and I'm going to create a new virtual machine. That's a very simple process and I hope you already understand this process. For this lab I will create new resource group and call NSG. We'll give the name to my new virtual machine test NSG, very simple. And we'll choose the region when I want to deploy my VM, in my case that's the East US. I do not need any redundancy for my VM for now. Also I decide to use Windows Server 2019 data center. Needs to give the name for admin user, in my case I'm using Azure admin, and set up password for this account. I don't want to open any public inbound port on this machine and I will just check this. For now I'm done and then click create virtual machine. This process will take some time. What's important here? During VM deployment process, if you not specify different, one VNet and the default subnet will be created by default. Virtual network interface also will be created for this virtual machine and public IP address will be assigned to this network interface. And also Network Security Group will be created. That's the scenario which I use right now, but you can use different scenario if you want and manually create VNet, subnet, etc. When is deployment process done, let's go to our virtual machine and try to connect using RDP protocol. If you remember, during the setup of this virtual machine, I decided to do not open any inbound protocol. That also means RDP protocol is closed and this connection process cannot be successful. Okay, let's fix that. From the networking tab of virtual machine, we can see that the NSG already existing. We have default inbound and outbound rule set already. If I click on effective security rules, new tab will be open, and I can see that our existing NSG is associated directly to the network interface of virtual machine. Let's click on NSG link to open NSG blade. You can see that RDP port is not opened in inbound rules. We can change this. We'll click on inbound tab and we'll add new inbound rule. Source can stay any with wildcard for source port range. Destination can also stay any, but in service I will select RDP. Notice that in action is selected allow. I'm done with this. We'll click add to add new security rule. Let's try our RDP connection again. Looks is successful. I just need to change credential to log in on VM with local admin account. As you can see, RDP connection is successful because Network Security Group now open and allow inbound RDP traffic. Now let's check internet connection from this virtual machine. I will open browser and visit our portal www.itprofessional.org. As you can see, virtual machine is able to reach internet. So can we change this? Yes, of course that we can, and we can do that exactly in Network Security Group. Let's try this. From the Network Security blade, we will use outbound port rules to add new rules. In these rules for destination, I will use service tag internet and will set wildcard for destination port range. That means any port. From action, I will specify deny and just add new rule. Now you can see that new deny rules is appear because it has lowest priority number is placed first on rule list. Let's test this again. Let's connect again on a virtual machine. If we open browser again and try to reach internet destination, I will use same URL. You will see that this is not successful. Because in our case, network security rule deny all internet traffic generated from the virtual machine. We'll remove this deny rule and we'll start test again. We'll open browser and use same URL. As you can see, test VM can reach internet again because network security outbound rule is changed. Let's visit NSG blade again to change the scope. If I go from NSG blade to network interface tab, you can see that this NSG is associated directly to the virtual network interface of our virtual machine. I will dissociate this and move to the subnet tab from NSG blade. As you can see, NSG is not associated with any subnet, and I will associate our NSG to the subnet where is our test VM located. What this exactly means? That means that the NSG will control traffic to any virtual machine located in a particular subnet we set up. Let's turn back in our VM blade and try to connect again using RDP protocol. As you can see, connection is successful because VM is located in a subnet, whereas the associate or NSG. And that's all for this demo. See you in next one.
Base Azure encrypt data and use Key Vault. Encryption on Azure Azure encryption strategy includes the Azure Storage Service Encryption, Azure Disk Encryption, and transparent data encryption. Azure Storage Service Encryption help you protect data at rest, but automatically encrypting before persisting to the Azure Managed Disks, Azure Blob Storage, or Azure Files, or Azure Queue Storage, and decrypt the data before retrieval. Azure Disk Encryption help you encrypt Windows and Linux infrastructure as a service virtual machines disks. Azure Disk Encryption used the industry standard BitLocker feature for Windows and the DaemonCrypt feature for Linux to provide volume encryption for OS and data disks. Transparent data encryption help protect SQL database or Azure data warehouses against the threat of malicious activities. It performs real-time encryption and encryption of the database, associated backups, and transaction log files at the rest without requiring changing any code to application. There are the great services, Azure Key Vault. Azure Key Vault is a service for secret management, key management, and certificate management. You can use Key Vault to store securely and tightly controlled access to token, passwords, certificates, application, program interface, APIs, keys, and other secrets. You can use Key Vault as a key management solution, and Key Vault make it easy to create and control encryption key used to encrypt your data. Key Vault lets you provision, manage, and deploy your public and private security socket layer or transfer security layer certificate for Azure. And internally connected resources more easier. Store secret backed by the hardware. Hardware secure module is also enabled. The secret and key can be protected either by the software or by the hardware security module. Now we'll start with Module 2, describe the security management capabilities of Azure. In this module we will describe cloud security, posture management, and describe the Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Microsoft Defender for Cloud is a centralized management solution that provides security control and tools to enable proactive protection against emerging threats in an evolving threat landscape. Default policy provides a secure foundation upon which custom policy can be built to suit your organization. All Azure and Office 365 are automatically onboarded as they are commissioned and continuously assessed to provide recommendation to improve security posture. Defender for Cloud provides cloud security posture management, CSPM, and Cloud Workload Protection, CWP, helping to improve the security of your environment and services in single cloud as well as multi-cloud and hybrid environments, bringing endpoint protection, threat protection, and analysis into a single panel glass to reduce operational overhead for our security team. Integration with other Azure services such as Azure Policy, Azure Monitor, Azure Cloud App Security provides the robust and comprehensive cloud security. The feature of the Microsoft Defender for Cloud that deliver on these requirements cover two broad pillars of cloud security posture management and cloud workload protection. Cloud security posture management, CSPM, provide visibility to help you understand your current security situation, hardening guidance to help you efficiently and effectively improve your security. The central feature in Defender for Cloud that enables you to achieve those goals is Secure Score. Defender for Cloud continually access your resources, subscription, and organizations for security issues. And then aggregate all of the findings into single score. Defender for Cloud also provide hardening recommendation based on any identified security misconfiguration and weaknesses. Use those security recommendations to straighten the security posture of your Azure hybrid and multi-cloud resources. Cloud Workload Protection, CWP. Cloud Workload Protection capabilities is able to detect and resolve threat to resources, workload, and services. Includes a range of the advanced intelligence protections for your workload. The workload protections are provided through the Microsoft Defender plan, specific to types of resources in your subscriptions. The Defender for Cloud planes you can select from our Defender for servers, threat detection and advanced defenses for your Windows and Linux machines. Defender for app servers. Identify attack targeting application running over app services. Defender for storage. Detect potential harmful activity on your Azure storage account. Defender for SQL. Secure your databases and data wherever are located. Defender for container registry. Protects all Azure Resources Manager based registry on your subscription. Defender for Key Vault is advanced threat protection for Azure Key Vault. Defender for Resource Manager automatically monitor resource management operation in your organization. Defender for DNS provides an additional layer of protection for resources that use Azure DNS as for name resolution capabilities. Defender for open source relational protection bring threat protection for open source relational databases. This different plane can be enabled separately and will run simultaneously to provide comprehensive defense for your compute, data, and services layer in your environment. Defender for Cloud continuously assesses your cross-cloud resources for security issue. It then aggregates all findings in a single score so that you can tell at a glance your current security situation. The higher the score, the lower identified risk level. In the Azure portal page, the secure score is shown as a percentage value, and the underlying value are also clearly presented. To increase your security, review Defender for Cloud recommendation page and remediate the recommendation by implementing the remediation instruction for each issue. Recommendations are grouped into security controls. Each controls is logical groups of the related security recommendations and reflect your vulnerability attack surface. Your score only approves when you remediate all of the recommendations for single resources in a control. So to see how well your organization actually securing each individual attack surface, review the score for each security control. Enhance security features. Microsoft Defender plans specific to the types of the resources in your subscriptions provide enhanced security feature for your workload. Here are some of the enhanced security features. Comprehensive endpoint detection and response. Microsoft Defender for servers includes Microsoft Defender for endpoint for comprehensive endpoint detection and response, EDR. Vulnerability scanning for virtual machines, container registries, SQL resource. Easily deploy a scanner to all of your virtual machines. View, investigate, remediate findings directly with the Microsoft Defender for Cloud. The multi-cloud, also in multi-cloud security. Connect your account from an Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud Platform to protect resources and workload on those platforms with range of the Microsoft Defender Cloud security features. Hybrid security. get a unified view of security across all of your on-premises workloads, apply security policies, and continuously assess the security of your hybrid cloud workloads to ensure compliance with security standards. Collect, search, analyze security data for the multiple sources, including firewalls and other partner solutions. Threat protection alerts monitor networks, machine, cloud services for incoming attack and post-breach activity. Streamline investigation with interactive tools and contextual interact intelligence. Track compliance with the range of the standards. Microsoft Defender for Cloud continuously assesses your hybrid cloud environment to analyze risk factor according to the controls and best practices in Azure Security Benchmark. When you enable enhanced security features, you can apply a range of the other standards, regulatory standards, benchmarks, according to your organization states. Access and application controls. Block malware and other unwanted applications by applying machine learning powered recommendation adapted to your specific workload to create a love list, block list, reduce network surface in just-in-time, control access to management ports on Azure VMs.
Now is time for demo. In this demo we will walk through Microsoft Defender for Cloud and see how it can be used to improve an organization security posture. There are the different ways to access Microsoft Defender for Cloud page. You can simply search, like me. Once you find Defender for Cloud, overview page will open. From the overview page in Microsoft Defender for Cloud, you can find a lot of information. Information on the top of the page include the number of Azure subscription, the number of accessed resources, number of active recommendation, and any security alerts. As you can see, I have a lot of security alerts. On the main body of the page there are cards representing security posture, regulatory compliance, insights, and more. The Microsoft Defender for Cloud default policy initiative, which would normally have to be assigned by the admin, has already been assigned as a part of Azure subscription setup. From the top of the page, let's see accessed resources. This will show the inventory page that lists the current resources. If I select virtual machine resources, that resources is associated with virtual machine we used in the previous lab. The resources held page from the VM provides a list of recommendations, and we can see any unhealthy status. Let's explore first one, status. Here is the detailed description, where we can also go to the remediation steps with the remediation instructions. From mine page we can also access to active recommendation page. You can see some items show up as unhealthy resources, as depicted by the red bar on the right of the line. And also you can find information how this recommendation actually will improve your security score and your security posture. Let's select regulatory compliance from mine page. Regulatory compliance page provides a list of compliance control based on the Microsoft Cloud Security Benchmark and other regulatory compliance initiatives applied to this tenant. Under each control domain is a subset of control, and for each control there are one or more assessments. Any red compliance status do not look so good, and you need to take remediation action. As you can see, I have cryptography issue which is required by the ISO compliance. I will remediate this later. Let's turn back on mine page. Microsoft Defender for Cloud is offered in two modes. Without extended security feature, which is free, and with extended security features, that are available through the Microsoft Defender for a Cloud plan. And let's see that. You can see that Mind CS PM status is set to on, and all feature is enabled on my tenant. You can also easily compare paid or free version. If you go on Security Policy tab, you can easily add new compliance policy if required. That was all for this demo. See you in next one.
Now let's move on Module 3, describe security capabilities of Microsoft Sentinel. In this module, we will describe the security concept for SIEMs and SOAR, and describe how Microsoft Sentinel provides integrated threat management. SIEM and SOAR. Security information and event management, SIEM, and security orchestration, automation, and response, SOAR, share a great deal. However, each ultimately serves as distinct purpose. Understanding difference between two is crucial in planning your security strategies. In short, SIEM aggregate and correlate data from multiple security systems to generate alerts, while SOAR act as remediation and response engine to those alerts. What is the SIEM? SIEM provides incident data to Security Operations Center. The technologies plays an important role in threat monitoring and response, combining the log data from Security Event Management, SEM, and data analysis from Security Information Management, SIEM. Although some SIEM platforms are capable of applying machine learning and behavioral analytics to their monitoring, this is ultimately not their intended purpose. The core function about all else is to generate an incident alert to security team for investigation and remediation. Although SIEM solutions allow for the management and categorization for all alerts, security typically handle this manually, in addition to less time spent dealing with the threats. This can contribute to notification fatigue. What is SOAR? SOAR solution comprise a system of integrated technologies and tools designed to help security teams automate their data collection, threat analysis, and incident response processes. Since SOAR typically consists of multiple cybersecurity solutions operating in unison, its use cases are broad. With that said, SOAR solutions typically specialize in proactively coordinating, automating, and prioritizing threat detection and remediation. Leveraging SOAR allows personnel to focus on tackling more complex issues and mitigate more sophisticated threats, while also ensuring Security Operations Center had advanced warning of possible incidents. What's the difference between SIEM and SOAR? SOAR, in many ways, represents a direct evolution of SIEM technology. Both collect and aggregate the threat intelligence from multiple sources, and both are designed to streamline an organization's response to security incidents. Some vendors have even begun using the terms of interchangeably, while many SIEM vendors have started incorporating SOAR-like capabilities. The two are not interchangeable. However, SOAR solutions collect more data, incorporate in real-time information, and drive on the multiple external and third-party sources. They also do much more with collected data, providing contextualized alerts and predefined investigation path for security teams. SOAR platform can also leverage playbooks to incorporate even more advanced automation, leveraging machine learning to grow more effectively. And finally, SIEM generates security alerts, while SOAR intelligently manage and prioritize those alerts. Although you may expect SOAR class 2 as superior to SIEM, The reality is that both solutions are at their best deployed in tandem. In this setup, SIEM platform provides alerts and notification about potential incidents, while the SOAR platform contextualizes those alerts and applies remediation measures as necessary. Microsoft Sentinel. Azure Sentinel is a Microsoft Cloud native security information and event management, SIEM, and security orchestration and automated response, SOAR solution, or all-in-one. It brings together latest in security innovation and advanced artificial intelligence to provide near real-time intelligence security analytics for the bird's eye view over your entire enterprise. With the Sentinel, you can consume security-related data from almost any source, not just the source inside your Microsoft tenant. This removes the needs to manage multiple pieces of the complex and costly infrastructure components, whilst providing a cloud platform solution that can easily scale to your needs. Sentinel uses machine learning and artificial intelligence modules to surface important insight based on the data consumed through the wide category of the data connectors. This includes native connections to all key Microsoft sources together with a range of the native third-party connectors, which includes technologies from AWS, Symantec, Barracuda, Cisco, and many others. The solutions analyzes in excess of 6.5 trillion signals daily to provide unparalleled threat intelligence. This coupled with the ability to filter millions of the signals into manageful dashboard. Alerts provides comprehensive hunting and investigative capabilities, enabling you to expedite your response to potential attack.
It's time for demo. In this demo, we will walk through the Microsoft Sentinel instances. We'll also check up the permission to ensure access to the resources that will get deployed to support Microsoft Sentinel. We will walk through the step for connecting Microsoft Sentinel to data sources and select workbook to monitor and visualize data. And lastly, I will show some of the other options available, including built-in analytics to get notified of anything suspicious, the automation capabilities, and more. As you can see, I have already created Microsoft Sentinel instances. Creating a Sentinel instances is a very simple process. The first step is to create log analytics workspace, which Sentinel will use. With Microsoft Sentinel instances created, you will want to make sure that you have necessary access to the resources that get deployed to support Microsoft Sentinel. For that reason, let's visit the resource group where is the Microsoft Sentinel created, and we'll check assigned rules. Assigning the rules at the resource group level will ensure that rule will apply to all the resources that are deployed to support Microsoft Sentinel. With the owner or service administrator, you have full permission to manage Sentinel instances. But if you need, you can assign special Sentinel permissions like Microsoft Sentinel Reader, Microsoft Sentinel Responder, Microsoft Sentinel Contributor, Microsoft Sentinel Playbook Operator, etc. Microsoft Sentinel generally will not do nothing if you don't specify connection data source to start ingest your data into Sentinel. I will show the step for connecting to data source first. The first step with Microsoft Sentinel is to be able to collect data. From the left navigation panel, select the data connectors listed under configuration. Microsoft Sentinel comes with many out-of-box connectors for Microsoft services, which you can integrate in real time. For example, the Microsoft 365 Defender connector as a service-to-service connector that integrates data from Office 365, Microsoft Azure Active Directory, Microsoft Defender for Identity, Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps, etc. You can also enable built-in connectors to the broad security ecosystem for non-Microsoft product. For example, you can use syslog, common event format, or REST API to connect your data sources with Microsoft Sentinel. Let's take a look at Microsoft Defender for Cloud connector, which is already connected. Microsoft Defender for Cloud connector allows you to detect and quickly respond to threats across Azure, hybrid, and multi-cloud workload. This connector allows you to stream your security alerts from the Microsoft Defender for Microsoft Cloud Defender into Microsoft Sentinel, so you can view Defender data in workbooks, query it to produce alert, and investigate and respond to incident. You can see that you have 3 workbooks, 2 query set, and 6 analytics template built in to support this connector already. From configuration page, you can see that this connector already connecting my Azure subscription, Azure subscription 1 in this case. If it goes to Workbooks tab, you can see that Microsoft Sentinel comes with built-in workbooks templates to allow you to quickly gain insight across your data as soon as you connect the data source. As you can see, I have already saved a bunch of templates which I use, so let's see some of them. For example, Active Directory sign-in logs. Once the workbook open, you will have great visualized review of your Azure Active Directory sign-in logs with a lot of details which you maybe need for your investigation process, etc. Now let's discover some other option in Microsoft Sentinel. Incident page lets you know how many incidents you have and whether they are new, active, or closed. For each incident, you can see the time it occurred and the status of the incident. Look at the severity to decide which incident will be handled first, etc. In the Haunting page from the Queries tab, you can select any query from the list. Once query is selected, note that the information that provides about that query includes the code for query and option to run the query and see result. In my case, I have selected query to identify when a user account successfully logs onto a given app and with 1 minute failed to log on to different app. This may indicate a malicious attempt to accessing disallowed app for discovery or potential lateral movement. Custom query script will run and give you a result. Because I didn't get any result, I will change timestamp on 1 day instead 1 minute, just to get some result to show you how this looks like. Let's switch from Haunting page to Mitra attack. Mitra attack is a publicly accessible knowledge base of tactics and techniques that are commonly used by attackers. That is a set of the data metrics and assessment tools developed by the Mitra Corporation to help organizations understand their security red lines and uncover vulnerability in their defense. With Microsoft Sentinel, you can view the detection already active in your workspace and those available for you to configure and understand your organization security coverage based on the tactics and techniques from Mitra attacks framework. If you select any cell from the matrix and you can see information available on the right side of the screen. Now let's switch on community page. Microsoft Security analyzes constantly create and add new workbooks, playbooks, haunting query and more, posting them to the community for you to use in your environment. You can download sample content from the private community GitHub repository to create custom workbooks, haunting query, notebooks, and playbooks for Microsoft Sentinel. Now let us switch to Analytics tab. Microsoft Sentinel uses Fusion as correlation engine based on scalable machine learning algorithm to automatically detect multi-stage attacks, also known as advanced persistent threats, by identifying combination of anomalous behavior and suspicious activity that are observed at various stages of kill chain. On the basis of those discoveries, Microsoft Sentinel generate incidents that would otherwise be difficult to catch. Even that is not part of this course, we'll show you how looks like one incident. If you will stay with me for other Microsoft security courses, this topic will be covered on Security 200 course, and we will go deeply in details, but now I just want to show you how this looks like very quickly. As you can see, here is the 3 high severity incident created with 180 alerts. And these alerts coming from Microsoft 365 Defender. If we go to see full details about this incident, we can see incident timeline, which is very important, and also entities which is included in this incident. Let's see first alert from this incident timeline. As you can see, high severity malware refers tools used by advanced threat activity groups to target victims. You can go directly to investigate page, when you can granularly using visualized view track this attack. As you can see, you can explore this in playbook also. From the incident action, actually, you can escalate this case to the Microsoft team to work with your team together. You can also assign this incident to someone who can resolve this. One link from this page is very interesting and also important: investigating Microsoft 365 Defender. So that means you can continue investigation in Microsoft 365 Defender because this actually incident coming from Microsoft 365 Defender. I don't going to provide any more comment here because you really will need Security 200 course to understand all of this. Okay, that was all for this demo. See you in next one.
Now we will switch on Module 4. Describe the threat protection with Microsoft 365 Defender. In this module we will describe the Microsoft 365 Defender service, describe how Microsoft 365 Defender provides integrated protection against sophisticated attack, and describe and explore the Microsoft 365 Defender portal. Microsoft 365 Defender services. Microsoft 365 Defender is an enterprise defense suite that protects against sophisticated cyber attack. With Microsoft 365 Defender, you can make coordinate detection, prevention, investigation, and resource to threats across email, identity, application, etc. 365 Defender allows admins to assess threat signals from application, email, and identities to determine and attack's scope and impact. It gives greater insight into how to threat occur and what systems have been affected. 365 Defender can then take automated action to prevent or stop attack. What's included in the suite? Endpoints with Microsoft Defender for Endpoints. So Microsoft Defender for Endpoints is a unified endpoint platform to preventive protection, post-breach detection, automated investigation and response. There are email collaboration with Microsoft Defender for Office 365. Defender for Office 365 save your organizations against malicious threats posted by email messages, links, and collaboration tools. There are identities with Microsoft Defender for Identity and Azure ID Identity Protection. Microsoft Defender for Identity use Azure Active Directory signals to identify, detect, and investigate advanced threat, compromised identity, and malicious insider actions directed at your organizations. There are also applications in Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps. Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps is a comprehensive cross-SaaS solution that brings the deep visibility, strong data control, and enhanced threat protection to your cloud apps. So use Microsoft Defender to protect your organization against sophisticated cyber attacks. It coordinates your detection, prevention, investigation, and response to threat across entity, email, application together. Microsoft Defender for Office 365 is a robust filtering stack. Prevents volume-based and targeted attacks, pushing ransomware and advanced malware. Industry-leading artificial intelligence detects malicious and suspicious content to identify campaigns designed to avoid protection. Powerful experience help identify, prioritize, and investigate threats with advanced hunting capabilities to track attack across all of Microsoft 365. There are several primary ways to use Microsoft Defender for Office 365. One of them is Microsoft Defender for Office 365 filtering golden scenario, which provides cloud-based email protection for your on-premise Exchange server or any other on-premise SMTP mail solution. Defender for Office 365 can be enabled to protect Exchange Online, cloud-hosted mailboxes, or in hybrid deployment. Microsoft Defender for Office 365 can be configured to protect your messaging environment and control mail routing when you have a mix of on-premise and cloud mailboxes with Exchange Online protection for inbound email filtering. Microsoft Defender for Office 365 actually is available in two planes. The plane you chose influences the tools you will see and use. It's important to make sure you select the best plan to meet your organization's needs. Plan 1. This plan offers configuration, protection, and detection tools for your Office 365 suite. Safe attachment, check email attachment for malicious content. Safe links. Links are scanned for each click. A safe link remains accessible, but malicious links are blocked. Protection for SharePoint, OneDrive, and Microsoft Teams. Protect your organizations when users collaborate and share files by identifying and blocking malicious files in team sites and documents library. Anti-phishing protection. Detects attempt to impersonate your users and internal or custom domains. Real-time detection. Real-time report that allows you to identify and analyze risk threats. Plane 2. This plane includes all core features of Plane 1 and provides automation, investigation, remediation, and simulation tools to help protect your Office 365 suite. Threat trackers provide latest intelligence to prevailing cybersecurity issue and allow organization to take the countermeasures before they are actually threats. Threat Explorer, real-time report that allows you to identify and analyze risk threat. Automated investigation and response here includes several security playbooks that can be launched automatically, such as web alert is triggered manually. Security playbook can start an automated investigation, provide detailed results, and recommend action that the security team can approve or reject. Attack Simulator allows you to run realistic attack scenario in your organization to identify vulnerabilities. Proactively hunt with Advanced Hunter in Microsoft 365 Defender. Advanced Hunting is a query-based hunting tools that lets you explore up to 30 days of raw data. You can proactively expect events in your network to locate threat indicator and entities. Investigate alerts and incident in Microsoft 365 Defender. Microsoft Defender for Office 365 B2 customers have access to Microsoft 365 Defender integration to efficiently detect, review, and respond to incident and alerts. Microsoft Defender for Office 365 is included in certain subscriptions such as Microsoft 365 E5, Office 365 E5, Office 365 A5, and Microsoft 365 Business Premium. If your subscription doesn't include license, you can purchase it as an add-on. Microsoft Defender for Endpoints is a platform designed to help enterprise network prevent, detect, investigate, and respond to advanced threats on their endpoints. There are a lot of features and capabilities enabling end-user Microsoft for Endpoint. There are the threat and vulnerability management, which provides real-time visibility and help identify ways to improve your security posture. There are attack surface reduction, which eliminates risk or unnecessary surface area and restrict dangerous code from running. There are also advanced protection, which use machine learning and deep analysis to protect against file-based malware. You will use endpoint detection response to monitor behaviors and attack techniques to detect and respond to advanced attacks. Defender will leverage artificial intelligence to automatically investigate alerts and remediate complex threats in minutes. Microsoft Defender for Endpoint uses the combination of the technologies built into Windows 11 and Microsoft robust cloud services like endpoint behavior sensors, which is embedded in Windows. Those sensors collect and process behavioral signal from the operating system. Sensors send the data to your private isolated cloud instances on Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps is a cloud app security broker that support various deployment modes, including local action, API connectors, and reverse proxy. It provides rich visibility, control over data travel, and sophisticated analytics to identify and combat cyber threat across all your Microsoft and third-party cloud services. Defender for Cloud App natively integrates with the leading Microsoft solution and designed with security professional mind. It provides simple deployment, centralized management, and innovative automation capabilities. To get the full benefits of cloud app services, IT team must find the right balance to support access while protecting critical data. It's a comprehensive cross-SaaS solution that operates in an intermediary between a cloud user and cloud provider. Defender for Cloud Apps provides rich visibility to your cloud services, control over data travel, and sophisticated analytics to identify and combat cyber threat across all your Microsoft cloud services. Use these services to get visibility to the shadow IT by discovering cloud apps being used. You can control and protect data, after you sanction them to the service. Cloud Access Security Broker acts as a gatekeeper to broker real-time access between your enterprise users and the cloud resources they are used, wherever they are located and whatever device they are used. Cloud App Security Broker addresses security gaps in an organizations using the cloud services. Protection is provided by the many capabilities across those areas, like visibility to detect all cloud services, data security, threat protection, and compliance. Defender for Cloud Apps is built on a framework that provides the capabilities like discover and control use of shadow IT, identify cloud apps and IaaS and PaaS services used by your organizations. Investigate usage patterns, assess the risk level and business readiness of more than 16,000 apps against more than 80 risks. Protect your sensitive information anywhere in the cloud. Understand the classified and protect the exposure of sensitive information at rest. Protect against cyber threats and anomalies. Detect unusual behavior across cloud app to identify ransomware, compromised users, or rogue applications. Analyze high-risk usage and remediate automatically to limit risks. Assess your cloud app's compliance, etc. and etc. There is the Office 365 Cloud App Security. Is a subset of Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps that provides enhanced visibility of and control of Office 365. Office 365 Cloud App Security includes threat detection based on user activity logs, discovery of shadow IT for apps with similar functionality to Office 365 offerings, control app permission to Office 365, and apply access and session control. It offers a subset of the core Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps features. Enhance Cloud App Discovery in Azure Active Directory. Azure Active Directory Premium 1 includes Azure Active Directory Cloud App Discovery at no and additional cost. This feature is based on the Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps and Cloud Discovery capabilities that provides deeper visibility into cloud app usage in your organization. It provides a reduced subset of the Microsoft Defender for Cloud App Discovery capabilities. Use Microsoft Defender for Cloud App to intelligently and proactively identify and respond to the threat across your organization, Microsoft and non-Microsoft cloud services.
It's time for a new demo. In this demo, I will show the capabilities of Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps. We'll walk through the information available on the Cloud Discovery dashboard, the Cloud App Catalog capabilities available to investigate findings with Azure Log and Files, and ways to control impact on your organization through the policies. You have few different ways to access Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps. One is using the browser to open admin.microsoft.com page. One click on Security tab will open Microsoft 365 Defender portal, and that's what we need. From the left navigation panel, let's select Cloud App to expand the list, then select Cloud Discovery. This takes you to the dashboard view, where here is a lot of information. From the dashboard view, you can select different tabs from the top of the page. Here's the tab Discovered Apps. The Discovered Apps windows provide a more detailed view of the discovered apps, including risk score, traffic, number of users, and much more. Note that here is various options available, including the ability to tag an app as sanctioned or unsanctioned. Selecting a specific line item opens the details page for the specific app. Here are a lot of information which can be useful. If you select IP address tab, here you will find data including number of transaction, amount of traffic, and upload amount by particular IP address. This data can be filtered by specific IP address or export the data to future analyzers. Users tab will give you information about users and amount of transaction per user. It's important to understand that information provided in a cloud discovery page and related tabs are based on either snapshot report from traffic logs you manually upload from your firewall and proxies, or from continuously reports that analyze all logs that are forwarded from your network using Cloud App Security. From the snapshot drop-down menu, you can create Cloud Discovery Snapshot Report, where you need to fill up requested details and upload traffic logs to generate and upload a report. There are the very big list of available sources. If you want to see or configure continuous report, also from Action menu drop-down list, you can select continuous configure automatic upload. You can click plus add data source, then select the drop-down arrow in the select and then select appliance field to see the type of appliance that you can connect as data source. As you can see, I already have one connected. With Microsoft 365 Defender for Cloud Apps, you can connect to app directly by using setting app connector that will provide you with greater visibility and control over your cloud apps. Simply we'll use Action drop-down menu and select the Cloud Discovery setting. Under Connected Apps, I can select App Connectors. As you can see, I have Microsoft 365 and Microsoft Azure app already connected, but I still can add app if I need. For example, GitHub, new blade will be open, I need to give the name and needs to fill up all other required information about this to add this connector. Let's open Cloud App Catalog. Cloud App Catalog is of over 31,000 cloud apps. The apps are ranked and scored based on the more than 80 risk factor to provide you with ongoing visibility into cloud use, shadow IT, and shadow IT poses in your organization. The Cloud App Catalog enables you to choose apps that fit your organization security requirements. Admin can do basic filtering of app as shown on the top of the page, which includes whether the app is sanctioned, unsanctioned, or has no tag, risk score, compliance risk factor, security risk factor, etc. For example, filtering by compliance risk factor lets you search for the specific standard, certification, and compliance that the app may comply with. Examples include HIPAA, ISO, etc., PCI, etc. Admins can also search for apps by category. For example, in the search for category field, enter social network, then select social network. Let's research files page from my menu, which give us ability to investigate the recorded activities with activity log and files. You can filter data by app, owner, access level, file type, matched policies, etc., etc. Here you also can create new policy from search and export the data. Let's visit activity log page. Here you can get visibility into all the activities from your connected app. As you can see, I have recorded a lot of activities and I can filter this to find something what I need. And also I have option to create new policy from a search if I need. Now let's move forward to Policy Management tab. The listed policy provide information of the number of alerts generated by the policy, severity, etc. If I select any line, we'll get more detailed information about the policy. I can also find the policy using the search option. Actually, that was basic about the capabilities of Microsoft Defender for Cloud. And I will conclude this lab. See you in next one.
Microsoft Defender for Identity. This is a cloud-based security solution it uses for on-premise Active Directory data called signals to identify, detect, and investigate advanced threat, compromised identity, and malicious insider access detected at your organizations. Microsoft for Identity covers some of the key area, monitor and profile user behavior and activities. Defender for Identity monitors and analyzes user activities and information across your network, including permissions, group membership, creating a behavioral baseline for each user. Defender for Identity then identifies anomalies with adaptive built-in intelligence. It gives insight into suspicious activities and events, relaying the advanced threat, compromised users, and insider threats facing your organization. Protect user identity, reduce attack surface. Defender for Identity gives invaluable insight on identity configurations and suggested security best practices. Through the security reports and user profile analytics, Defender for Identity helps you reduce organizational attack surface, making it harder to compromise user credentials and in advanced attack. Identify suspicious activity and advanced attack across the cyber attacker kill chain. Typically, attacks are launched against any accessible entity, such as low privilege users. Attacker then quickly move laterally until attack access variable access. Those assets may include sensitive accounts, domain administrator, and high access sensitivity data. Defender for Identity identifies those advanced threats at the source through the entire cyber attack kill chain. Investigate alerts and user activities. Defender for Identities is designed to reduce general alerts noises, providing only relevant, important security alerts in simple, real-time organization attack timeline. You can use Defender to identify attack timeline, view and intelligence of smart analytics to stay focused on what matters. Also, you can use Defender for Identity to quickly investigate threat and gain insight across the organization for user devices and network resources. The Microsoft 365 Defender portal combines the protection, detection, investigation, and response to email, collaboration, identity, and device threat in a central portal. 365 Defender portal emphasizes quick access to information, simpler layout, and bringing the related information together for easier use. It includes Microsoft Defender for Office 365, Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, Microsoft Defender for Identity, Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps, and much more. Here you can view security health of your organizations, act to configure devices, user, and apps, and get alerts for suspicious activities. 365 Defender navigation pane include those options like incident, see the broader story of an attack by connecting .sim individual alerts on entities. You know exactly where an attack started, what devices are infected, who was affected, and where threat has gone. Alerts have great visibility into all alerts across all your 365 environment. Includes alerts from Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps, Microsoft Defender for Office 365, Azure Active Directory, Microsoft Defender for Identity, Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. Available to each E5 customer. Hunting. Proactively search for malware, suspicious file, and activities in your 365 organizations. Action Center. reduce the volume of alert your security team must address manually, allowing them to focus on more sophisticated threat and other high-value initiatives. Threat analytics. Track and response emerging threat with an integrated Microsoft 365 Defender threat analytics experience. Secure score. Improve your overall security posture with Microsoft Secure Score. This page provides an all-up summaries with different security features and capabilities. You have enabled and includes a recommendation for areas to improve. Learning Hub. The Microsoft 365 Defender portal includes Learning Hub that doubles official guidance for resources such as Microsoft Security blog, Microsoft Security community on YouTube, and official documentations. Endpoints. Microsoft Defender for Endpoints delivers preventative protection, post-breach detection, automated investigation, and response for devices in your organizations. Email and collaboration. Microsoft Defender for Office 365 helps organizations to secure their enterprise with setup prevention, detection, and investigation routing feature to protect email and Office 365 resources. Reports. Get the details and information you need to better protect your user devices, apps, and more. Permissions and rules. Access to Microsoft 365 Defender is configured with Azure Active Directory global rules or by using custom rules. Microsoft Secure Score is a measurement of an organization's security posture. With a high number indicator, more recommended actions which taken. Following the security score recommendation, you can protect your organization from threats from a centralized dashboard in Microsoft 365 Defender portal. Organizations can monitor and work on the security of the Microsoft 365 identities, apps, and devices. Each time you make an improvement, like creating a new security policy or turning on certain security setting, you will receive the points. For example, if a specific action states that you will get 10 points if you protect all your users with multi-factor authentication, and you choose to only protect half of your users, you get partial score of 5 points. Additionally, if you're using third-party products to achieve one of the recommended security actions, you can mark the item as resolved by third party, and this point will be added to your overall score. Currently, Microsoft Secure Score supports a recommendation for Microsoft 365, including Exchange Online, Azure Active Directory, Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, Microsoft Defender for Identity, and Cloud App Security. New recommendations are being added to Secure Score all the time.
It's time for a new demo. In this demo, I will show the Microsoft 365 Defender portal by walking through the content displayed on the landing page. Also, we'll walk through the options of the navigation panel that provide quick access to the functionality that is part of the Microsoft Extend Detection and Response XDR solution, like Microsoft Defender for Endpoints, Microsoft Defender for Office 365. And finally, we'll also show how the Microsoft Secure Score can help an organization to improve security posture. Please understand that's the only introduction with Microsoft 365 Defender portal. How you will manage incident, alerts, haunting, etc., etc. That's the part of totally different course. That the course is Security 200. If you will stay with me, for this course, we will go through all of these details in one real environment. But for now, let's explore this basic functionality. To access Microsoft 365 Defender, all you need to do is just put URL security.microsoft.com in your browser and, of course, log in. The welcome page of Microsoft 365 Defender portal shows many of the common cards that security teams need. The composition of the cards and data is depending on the user rule. As global admin, you will have all cards already enabled. You can click on plus add cards to add new cards if you need. That means the cards displayed can be customized to your preferences. The left navigation panel provides link and access to information that is part of the Microsoft Extend Detection and Response solution, which includes incident, alerts, hunting, Action Center, Threat Analytics, Secure Score, and more. I must notice again, these courses do not provide knowledge how you will use all of these great tools and features. To learn about this, deeply learn about this, you really need to course Security 200. On the screen you can see Microsoft Security Score page. Microsoft Secure Score page opens to the Overview tab, and Secure Score is a measurement of an organization's security posture. Your organization security score is shown as a percentage along with the number of points you have achieved out of the total possible points and broken down by the category. You can choose for the view of your score to include the achievable score, planet score, and current license score. The overview page also includes the top recommendation, action, comparison score, history, and additional resources. Selecting recommended actions from the top of the page, we'll see information available for each item in the table. So if you click on first one, require multi-factor authentication for administrator rule, here are the information how you can update the status of the application plan and the detailed information for implementation of the action. If you will select Manage in Microsoft Azure, a new browser tab opens and takes you directly to the conditional access policy page on your Azure tenant. In the History tab, if you select an item from the History table, the Action History windows opens and provides more information about history. In the Metrics and Trends tab, by selecting Calendar icon, you can narrow down the view of the custom date range. By selecting Filter icon allows you to filter the view by identity, device, or apps. Okay, that was all for this demo. See you in next one.
Now this concludes second section actually. Before we move to section number 4, let's first do a quick review of some of the details we have learned. Just a few to stay in sharp. When you have Azure Network Security Group NSG to filter network traffic to virtual machine, by default, all inbound traffic is denied. For example, if you want to allow inbound traffic for RDP protocol, you should create new rule to allow RDP that has higher priority than default. You want to protect Azure resources from DDoS attack and need alerting, telemetry capabilities, etc. You should use DDoS Network Protection Plan, which provides default DDoS infrastructure level protection, plus advanced capabilities including logging, alerting, and telemetry. If you have a virtual machine in Azure and you want to deploy Azure Bastion to get secure access to those VMs, you need to know that Azure Bastion deployment is per virtual network with support for virtual network peering, not per subscription or per account or per virtual machine. Let's say you have much of application data in Azure and you want a way to create and control the keys used to encrypt your application data. You should use Azure Key Vault, which is a centralized cloud service that can be used for secret management, key management, and certification management. We learned that Microsoft Defender for Cloud covers two broad pillars of cloud security. Pillar which provides visibility to help you understand your current security situation and provide hardening recommendation is called Cloud Security Posture Management, CSPM, which provides visibility and to help you understand your current security situation and provides hardening recommendation. If you want to add a vulnerability scanner for your Azure resources to view, investigate, and remediate the finding directly with Microsoft Defender for Cloud, you should consider the enhanced functionality that is provided through the Microsoft Defender plan and is part of the CWP pillar Microsoft Defender for Cloud. That will provide visibility and help you understand your current security situation and provides hardening recommendations. Remember that the four security operation area of Microsoft Sentinel that cover this collect, detect, investigate, and response. SIEM, SOAR solution use collect, detect, investigate, and respond to identify and protect your organization's network perimeter. If you have many different data sources where data is stored, and you want to quick gain insight across your data as soon as data source is connected, you should use Microsoft Sentinel. Integration with Azure Monitor workbooks allows you to monitor data and provides visibility and create custom workbooks. If you want to protect against malicious threat for email messages or link in email or in collaboration tools, use the Microsoft Defender for Office 365 safeguards against malicious threats posted by email messages, link URLs, and collaboration tools, which includes Microsoft Teams, SharePoint, Online, OneDrive for Business, and other Office clients. If you look to identify and detect, investigate advanced threat, compromised identities, and malicious insider action directly at your organizations, you should use Microsoft Defender for Identity. Microsoft Defender for Identity is a cloud-based security solution that identifies, detects, and helps you investigate advanced threats, compromised identities, and malicious insider actions directed to your organizations. If you want to quickly get an understanding of your organization's current security posture using Microsoft Defender portal, use Secure Score capabilities. Secure Score in Microsoft 365 Defender portal will give you a snapshot of an organization's security posture and provide details on how to improve it.